The Disappearance of Lily Carson, 2004. Lily Carson was a bright, complex young woman with a history of personal struggles. She was a college student at the University of Vermont, living in Burlington, a city known for its tight-knit community and picturesque scenery. Originally from a small town of Northfield, New Hampshire, Lily was known for her sharp intelligence, her passion for literature, and her natural charm. But beneath her outward appearance, she harbored deep emotional scars that few knew about. The complex life of Lily Carson. Lily had always been a high achiever. As a child, she was the eldest of 3 siblings, and her parents, Richard and Sarah Carson, were proud of her academic successes. However, as she entered college, Lily began to experience growing pressure. She had always been a perfectionist, and the increasing demand to university life seemed to take a toll on her mental health. During her second year, Lily began to struggle with anxiety and depression. It wasn't something she openly discussed with others, but her behavior started to change. She became more withdrawn, missing family events, and dropping out of social activities she once loved. Her grades slipped, and she was often seen late at night in the library, studying to catch up, but still falling behind. The biggest strain on Lily's mental health was her relationship with her boyfriend, Ryan Jennings, a fellow student from Vermont. Their relationship, once loving and supportive, had become strained in the months leading up to her disappearance. Ryan, who had known Lily for over 2 years, had begun to notice changes in her behavior. She seemed distant, frequently canceling plans, and she had started acting erratically. Ryan recalled one evening when they had argued about her inability to balance her academics with their relationship. She stormed out of his apartment, claiming she needed space. This was a final straw for them, and they broke up, but their emotional entanglement didn't truly end there. Ryan later admitted that he had noticed strange behavior from Lily before she disappeared. Late-night texts, a few incoherent voicemails, and a sense that she was withdrawing into herself even more. The day before the disappearance. On February 8th, 2004, just a day before the crash, Lily's behavior seemed even more erratic than usual. She had planned to attend a dinner with her friends, but she canceled last minute, claiming she wasn't feeling well. However, several of her close friends noted that she seemed increasingly disconnected, like she was in another world. In the following hours, Lily began texting them in fragmented sentences, saying things like, "I'm sorry," and "I can't do this anymore." Later that evening, Lily spoke with her father, Richard, over the phone. Her father described their conversation as strange. Lily's voice seemed detached, as though she was in a trance. She told him that she planned to drive home to visit him in Massachusetts, but Richard felt something was off. He had been worried about her for months and tried to coax her into opening up about what was bothering her. She reassured him she would be fine, but Richard couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. At 9 p.m. that night, Lily sent Ryan a final text message, apologizing for everything and claiming that she needed time to figure things out. It was unlike her to be so final. Ryan would later say that the tone of the text left him with a lingering sense of unease. It was the last communication anyone would have with Lily Carson before she vanished. The crash and the immediate aftermath. Lily left the university campus in her car, her Subaru Impreza, around 6 p.m. on February 9, 2004. She had told her roommate she was heading to Massachusetts to see her father, but there was something strange about her departure. The car was packed with her belongings, and there was a half-eaten sandwich in the front seat, suggesting she had been in the middle of a meal when something had interrupted her journey. At approximately 7:30 p.m., the car was discovered on Route 112. It was in a ditch off the side of the road, but the crash wasn't severe enough to explain Lily's sudden disappearance. The car's lights were still on, and the engine was warm, indicating that the accident had occurred not long before the car was discovered. The airbags hadn't deployed, and the seatbelt appeared to have been unbuckled. Inside the car, investigators found several key items: Lily's wallet, a few $100s in cash, a bottle of prescription antidepressants, and her cell phone. The phone was still in the car, but her keys were missing, and there were no signs of a struggle or foul play. There was no obvious reason why Lily had crashed her car, and the lack of skid marks suggested that she hadn't tried to brake or avoid hitting the snowbank. Some speculated that she had intentionally stopped. But why? The witness in the convenience store. A few hours before the crash, Lily had stopped at a convenience store near the crash site. The clerk, Mary Sullivan, recalled that Lily had entered the store in a hurry. She was alone, and Mary said Lily looked nervous and distracted. She paid for a bottle of water and a pack of gum, but didn't say much else, leaving the store without making eye contact. At the time, Mary hadn't thought much of it, but upon hearing the news about the crash, she realized that Lily's behavior had been unusual. The way she quickly left without engaging with anyone seemed odd, even unsettling. What was she trying to avoid? Was there something or someone after her? The discovery of the cabin and the journal. The first real break in the case came 3 days after Lily's disappearance. Greg Wilkins, a local hiker, found a set of footprints in the snow near the crash site. The footprints appeared to be from a woman wearing boots and led toward a small, abandoned cabin hidden deep in the woods. The footprints seemed to have been made in a hurry, and it didn't appear as though the person had been walking casually. Inside the cabin, investigators discovered a collection of personal items that seemed to belong to Lily, her red jacket, gloves, and a worn journal. The journal was open to several entries written in a hurried, frantic manner, with some pages smudged as if written in a hurry. The last entry, written only hours before her disappearance, read, "I think they're watching me. I don't know who to trust anymore. Maybe it's safer if I just disappear." The entries grew increasingly erratic as they went on. Lily's thoughts seemed jumbled, as if she was struggling to understand what was happening to her. She wrote about feeling paranoid, mentioning how certain people, though not identified, had been following her and how she felt like she was being driven to the edge. The cabin, deep in the woods and hidden from the nearest town, raised even more questions. How had Lily ended up here? Did she go there willingly, or had someone lured her into the secluded location? Was it a place she had known about? And why had she left behind so many personal belongings, like her wallet and phone in her car? Theories and false leads. As the days turned to weeks, multiple theories emerged, but none proved concrete. Many close friends and family members speculated that Lily had suffered a mental breakdown. Her journals, strange text messages, and sudden disappearance suggested a collapse under pressure. But if that were the case, why would she go to such lengths to leave behind so many clues pointing to her? Why go to the cabin? Could she have planned it? Another theory that gained traction was that Lily had been abducted. Investigators wondered if someone had been following her, especially since she had been acting strangely at the convenience store. Was she being stalked? The fact that there were no witnesses after the crash and no signs of a struggle in the cabin fueled this theory. If she had been abducted, who would have had the motive? Some people close to Lily began to wonder if she had simply wanted to escape. Could she have intentionally staged her disappearance to start a new life, far away from the expectations and pressures she had been facing? Her strained behavior, disjointed journal entries, and final text messages made this theory more plausible. But what about the odd footprints in the snow and the hidden cabin? Would she have known about it, given the mysterious nature of the cabin and the eerie tone of her journal entries? Some began to speculate about a supernatural angle. There were whispers about strange occurrences in the woods, sightings of odd figures, and unsettling reports from locals who had heard unexplained sounds in the area. Could something supernatural have been behind Lily's disappearance? The case goes cold. Despite extensive efforts by law enforcement, the search for Lily Carson turned cold. No new evidence came to light, and the leads dwindled to nothing. Her family, devastated by the uncertainty, continued to plead for answers. To this day, Lily's disappearance remains unsolved. Her family never gave up hope of finding her, but the mystery of her vanishing, combined with the eerie circumstances surrounding the abandoned cabin,